Thanks to EA for inviting me out to check out the new season of Apex Legends.
Until the ring closes. We've got time, but not much.
Can you stand on all these buildings or no?
I don't know. I'm gonna stand on this one and see. No, you can't.
Not that one.
I'm not gonna lie. It would be kind of cool if you could.
How big
Right?
is this balloon? Oh my god.
All
this
these.
is massive.
Imagine being able to go on top of all those roofs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go on this one.
Head in that direction, Dark.
They'd have to do so many, how do you call it? Like, in-building structures to, like, get to the roof manually.
I see an enemy.
They're not happy.
Go on this one? No.
I don't think so.
Whoa. Whoa.
Charging my shields.
Charging on my shields.
Throw in the trigger.
Reloading.
How about a wee pick me up?
One person's flying out after you.
Oh, there's a guy behind us. That's unlucky.
Boobing you, broski woski.
They're not gonna thirst
I
me.
got one that oofed me.
They're not gonna thirst me on purpose. That's oh, I can bleed out. Yeah, you can just hold your stick.
That one's out. Grenade out. Grenade out.
These in, boys. Gunshield's out.
What is that?
Octane with a gun shield, baby. Who'd have thought we'd reach this point?
Who would have thought that the Havoc is still not nerfed?
Octane with a gun shield. Alright guys, today I'm going to break down the new stuff coming in the next season of Apex Legends. For full transparency, I didn't play a whole lot. I only got to play 2 games that had a full lobby of players, and after that there were only 15-man lobbies, so I didn't get to play a whole lot, but I think I got a pretty good idea of what the next season is going to feel like just from what I experienced. So I'm going to try to break that down as best as I can so you can get a good understanding of what the next season is going to feel like. We're going to start off with gameplay changes. Obviously, the elephant in the room, we're getting a new map. This map is called District. Now, everybody's going to have their own personal favorites, but I will say this. If you like close quarters combat, District is probably going to be your favorite map. Aesthetically, it's got like a cyberpunk vibe to it, which is pretty sick. It's got like a lot of rural, urban areas. It's all close quarters, and there's a lot of layers to the map. They call it verticality. Verticality is a good way to explain it, but think layers, up and down. There's a lot of areas for people to play, a lot of buildings, and it just makes the fights crazy. Again, I only got to play 2 full lobby games, so in those lobbies that I played, where it was full lobbies, the fights were insane, man. There was sometimes like 5 teams playing in the same building, and we were just kind of going at it back and forth. So that was a lot of fun. If you're into close quarters combat, District is probably going to be your favorite map. The new season is going to start with a brand new mode called Revival. It's kind of like a twist on 3 Strikes with the whole respawn mechanic. So in this mode, there is no banners, there is no crafting, there is no respawn beacons, right? Basically what happens is if somebody on your team goes down, as long as one person on your team is still alive, that player that went down will eventually just respawn back in on top of you with all their loot, with everything. It's just like another life, constantly getting another life over and over and over. And man, I wish I got to play more than 2 games with a full lobby in this mode. This mode gave me 3 Strike vibes, and you guys know how much I love 3 Strikes. I think 3 Strikes is incredible, and this mode rivals that. Like, it's no pun intended. It's really good, dude. Like, really good. So I'm looking forward to playing this mode specifically. But speaking of new modes, there's another new mode coming. It's called Bot Royale. It's just as it sounds. It's a lobby filled with bots. It's meant for new players. It's meant for lower skilled players trying to learn the game and understand the mechanics. So if you want to blow off some steam and just roll a bunch of bots, you can do that in Bot Royale. If you want to learn the mechanics of Apex, if you're a brand new player or a returning player and trying to wrap your head around Apex, Bot Royale is going to be a great way for those players to learn the game. They've also made some big changes to loot bins. So halfway through a game, you're going to get a notification that says loot bins are being refilled. What this means is any open loot bin prior to that happening is going to have their loot refreshed. So if you're down bad halfway through a game, you have a second chance to get some more loot and make a comeback in the game. They're also adding 2 new tiers of loot bins. They're adding a legendary and a mythic. gold, and, well, red. And I think you can fill in the blanks. The gold one will spit out gold loot. The mythic one is going to spit out, well, care package loot. Now, I never ran into these in-game myself. I never saw any of them. But they did mention that the mythic one, the red one specifically, is going to take a long time to open. Like, 10 seconds to open that bin. And it shows up on the map for everybody. So it could be an ambush trying to pick up those bins. But high risk, high reward. If you open that bin, well, you're going to get care package tier loot out of it. Now let's move on to some weapon changes. We did not get a new weapon this season, but we do have Akimbo Mozambiques and Akimbo P2020s. Actually so sick. And you don't need any sort of hop up to do this. All you need to do is pick up 2 Mozambiques or 2 P2020s. It'll automatically go Akimbo. You can't EDS with it. You can kind of like get like a little zoom when you're hip firing, but hip fire only. You do not need an attachment to make it Akimbo. You just pick up 2 of them. Also, another notable thing here with the Akimbo weapons, you don't need to find double the attachments. For example, if you have double P2020s and you pick up a blue light mag, that blue light mag will apply to both of your P2020s. Same thing with the Mozambique. If you find hammer points, both of your Mozambiques now have hammer points, even though you've only found 1 attachment. Really, really cool change. Absolutely love it. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say it. Might be a tad bit overtuned, but I am totally for it. I think this is awesome, dude. I am so stoked. So, Akimbos are the big changes. Oh, I also want to add that with the Mozambique, if you find a gold shotgun bolt and you slide around and hip fire the Mozam, you basically have infinite ammo because the gold bolt constantly refills and you're just shooting, just blasted like crazy, man. So if you find a gold bolt Mosey with hammers and you're running that puppy Akimbo, you are basically the Terminator. Like, it's actually crazy. So that's the Akimbo changes in a nutshell. They also added a new hop-up for light machine guns. LMGs are gonna go crazy. They added a Gunshield generator hop-up, which basically just turns the LMG into a Gibraltar Gunshield. Think Gibraltar Gunshield. That's exactly what this is. Matter of fact, me and Macro, we hopped into the firing range here, and we did a little bit of testing. With Gibraltar, you actually get the double gun shield. You get his regular gun shield, and then the damage also is added onto his gun shield with the gun shield generator. Actually crazy. So LMGs are gonna go nuts. I think the L-Star is gonna be bananas with this. So good. It's about time, man. I feel like LMGs haven't been in the meta at all for so long. This is gonna change that. So pretty cool changes. As far as like buffs and nerfs, we weren't given specific patch notes, so we don't know like the ins and outs. There's going to be a lot of changes that go under the radar. There is a couple changes that we do know about. For example, the Havoc got a hipfire nerf, the Hemlock got a 1 damage nerf, and Moose brought this up. I don't know how true this is. I never saw this for myself, but apparently the Flatline he had noticed had 1 less bullet in the magazine. So, you know, little nerfs like that we weren't told about, like the Flatline, for example, that are going to go under the radar until we have the official patch notes, but I would expect more changes than that. I also want to mention that the R99 is in the care package now, so I think that's about all for weapons that I've got to say. Let's talk about legend changes. Now, I want to say again that we weren't given official patch notes, so we don't know exact changes to every single legend. There's going to be some that sneak under the radar that we won't know about until it's officially announced, but they did go out of their way in a presentation to specifically mention 2 legend classes. Now, I can't show you this presentation, but I'm going to try my best to explain how they explained it to us. So, think of Apex as like 2 separate games. You have competitive, and you have your casual Apex Legends. The Apex Legends that you and I play, right? When they're looking at buffs and nerfs, they try their best to make it appeal to both sides. In competitive, there's 2 legend classes that dominate, right? You have Controller and Recon. Beacons give a lot of value to competitive Apex Legends. You get ring knowledge, you get UAVs, but those legends don't translate very well to casuals. For example, Octane is useless in competitive. There is literally 0 pro players that play Octane, but Octane is one of the most popular legends in casual. So they're trying to find a balance between making Recon and Controller good in competitive, but also making them good and a viable choice in casual playlists. So what they did here is they changed class perks for Recon and Controller. Recon would be like Bloodhound, Seer, Vantage, Crypto. Those legends are going to get a new perk called Threat Vision, which, personal opinion here, not a big fan of. Basically, when you're ADSing, if you have line of sight on an enemy, they're gonna glow red. And I don't like that, but we'll see how it plays out. Again, this is like a first-person interaction here. I don't have footage of it, but it was, I don't know. I don't know about this one. The other, though, is interesting. This is for controllers. So controllers are going to get a perk called, I think it's called Zone Overcharge. Basically, you're going to get incentivized to hit beacons for zone, and you'll get like a shield perk to it. So, again, I don't have footage. I'm trying my best to explain it, but the controller one sounded interesting. The Recon one was, you know what I mean? So we'll see how these ones play out, but those are the two major legend changes. They specifically mentioned that they did not nerf Revenant, if that matters to any of you guys out there. No Revenant nerf, so there's also that, but that's all I've got for legend changes. Now, there's only one last thing that I want to touch on, and this is a wee bit of a touchy subject, but it is true. You've probably heard some rumors. They are nerfing aim assist, and I want to remind you that I am a controller player myself. I am team controller, but I play mouse and keyboard on other games. So I represent both teams here, okay? And I want to make this clear. I don't care whether they buff it, nerf it, or don't touch it at all. It makes no difference to me. But there's a lot of passionate people out there. You start talking about aim assist, it's, you know, on both sides, they get passionate about it. So I want to explain this so everybody is crystal clear on how this works. So, aim assist has a 0.6 value on console, a 0.4 value on PC, and they are nerfing the 0.4 value by 25%, bringing it down to a 0.3 value. That means console players are unaffected entirely if you are playing in console lobbies. I'm going to say that again. Console players are not getting their aim assist nerfed if they are playing in console lobbies. If a console player is playing on PC lobbies, then yes, they are getting their aim assist nerfed down a little bit too. But I'm going to be honest, in the build that I played, I did not feel much of a difference, if any difference at all. So good players are still going to be good, regardless of an aim assist nerf, and casual players probably aren't even going to notice it. And again, console players are unaffected if you are playing in console lobbies. 0.6, this stays the same. So with that said, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next season for some more Apex Legends.